This video is for Digital Escape Rooms Session 3. So at this point, we've covered so far, including the directional lock, the link of Google Maps to help with the directional lock. We also have the number lock clue and then the color lock clue that we've covered in previous videos. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to cover how to do a jigsaw puzzle clue and how to also incorporate our locks. So right here is just a blank Google drawing that I have created. And what we're going to do is right now I'm just going to insert an image and search the web. All right, and then I'm going to get my image. So this is going to be for my word lock. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to include word lock clue in the title of my document. So what you can do is, depending on the grade level of your students, you can either just show a picture of it. You can include the actual word itself. It could be a sight word if it was younger students that were using this. But anyway, what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to insert some word art. And I'm going to type in the name of the location, which is also the word lock, and give it the name Acropolis. I'll maybe give it a more of a fun font, and then what we'll do is just kind of make it a little bigger, maybe put it here. So this is going to be our word lock clue. Anyway, what you're going to do to make it into a jigsaw puzzle is you're going to click on File and then Download, and we're going to download it as a JPEG image. And then from here, what you're going to do is you're going to go to jigsawplanet.com. And I already have an account, so I'm just going to sign in. So you would have to make an account if you didn't already have one. And then you would simply click on create and then choose file. And so I have my download. It's called MassQ Digital Escape Word Lock Clue. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit open. And then you have the ability to decide how many pieces. So if you have younger kids, you can just do 4 to 6 pieces for your puzzle. Depending on the grade level that you have, you can go all the way up to 300, although that might be a bit much. So anyway, I'm just going to go with, for example, we'll say 24 pieces. And you can choose the shape that you want. So again, the square shape, you've got different puzzle piece shapes. So I'm just going to go with this shape right here. And then you can create an album, which for the purposes of this, it just kind of names it Digital Breakout Clue, because I already have an album titled that. And then from here, what you're going to do is click on Create. And so then what it's going to do is it's going to show you the puzzle. And so students would just simply have to click and drag the different pieces in order to be able to get the word lock. So it could be helpful to have the name word lock in it, which is what I did. But again, depending on the grade level of students, you might not want to tell them that it's the word lock, especially if you have high school students that you want to make it, maybe, a little trickier to keep them engaged. But anyway, so then what you can do is you can click up at the top to highlight the URL, copy it. And then if you go back over to your original digital breakout scene, add another secret link. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a secret link just over this large picture right here. And for some reason, it's wanting to link onto something else that I already have. But if that happens to you, you're just going to click on Remove Link and then click on the link button again, and then paste the link that you just copied from jigsawplanet.com. And again, what you want to do is change the fill color so that it's transparent, and the border color again so that it is transparent. So then from here, what we're going to do, we have our directional lock, our map that helps with our directional lock, our color lock, our number lock, and our word lock. So we have the links to all of our lock clues at this point. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to make the form that students would have to use to unlock. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up Google Drive. And I'm going to create a new Google form. And so what I'm going to do is just add a title, so Digital Escape Room Locks, and perhaps a quick little description that says you must answer each lock question correctly before being able to submit. And we'll do a little good luck. Okay. So anyway, what we're going to do next is we're going to add a question for each of our 4 locks. So for example, we'll start off with word lock. Okay, and then it automatically puts it to short answer. So then from here, what we're going to do is we can add some short answer text, which is going to provide a little clue. So we're just going to click on response validation for right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to say that the text should contain, and I'm going to type in the word Acropolis, and I'm just going to go with all lowercase just because that's what my students are going to typically do. And then the custom error text, you can just give them something that will appear if they type it incorrectly. So then keep trying. And then what you want to do is make it a required question. You can also add a description. So for example, for my description, I'm going to say one word, all lowercase. Okay, so anyway, that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly preview right now by clicking on the eyeball. So what's going to happen is, let's just say, for example, students type in whatever, and then they go to hit submit. It's going to say keep trying. The only way that it's going to allow them to submit is if they actually type in the correct answer. But if they don't type in the correct answer, it's going to say keep trying. So anyway, I'm just going to exit out of that and continue with creating our room locks. So then from this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the plus sign to add another question. What I'm going to do is I can do this as my number lock. And again, it comes up with the short answer text, and it comes up with the response validation automatically added, which is fine. So we want to just make that a required question. And so just as an FYI, the number lock that I had previously done was 1908. So we want to make sure that we add 1908 in the response validation. And so that's going to make it so that students have to type in 1908 in order to be able to submit. You're going to click on the plus sign to add another question. And so then for this one, we'll do color lock. And again, it's going to come up with short answer. We want to make it required. We want to turn on response validation and description. So for the description, you could have something like R equals red, O equals orange, and so on and so forth, depending on how difficult you want to make it. So I'm just going to put in green, blue, and purple, so they know that there's 6 possible choices. Then what I want to do is change it so that it says text contains, and then depending on what your color lock was, so for example, if mine was, yellow, blue, green, yellow, then you would put in something like that. So you might also want to put in the description to type the first letter of each color. And again, we've got the error text, so something like keep trying. And then let's just make sure we added that for, oh, we didn't add that for the error text here. So if it doesn't come up with the error text, I would make sure that you put in text right here. So actually we're going to change that so it says text contains 1908 and keep trying. Because unfortunately it only does the error text with text. But anyway, so that being said, we've got our word lock, text contains Acropolis or else keep trying. Number lock, text contains 1908 or else keep trying. Color lock, text contains YBGY or else keep trying. And then finally, we're going to add our last question, which is the directional lock. We're going to make it required, add our response validation, add our description. So I might just put in something like north, south, east, and west. And then type the first letter of each direction. So then again, we would do text and contains, and then depending on whatever your directional lock is. So let's just say, for example, that mine were east, south, north, south. And then again, we've got our custom error text, keep trying. So then what you would do is if you click on the preview button up at the top, now you have the word lock, number lock, color lock, and directional lock. So you would have to be able to type in all of them correctly for it to be able to work. So let's just say, for example, I type in Acropolis, 1908. Let's just say, for example, I get the color lock wrong and my directional lock. And so what happens is the one that's incorrect, it says keep trying, and it also will not allow submission. So it will only allow submission if all of the locks are correct. So for example, I think we said the color lock was YBGY. So I'm just going to show what that would look like. So if we get all four of them correct, then you're able to submit. So anyway, that's how the actual locks are going to work. And next week, what we're going to do is we're going to cover how to put everything together. So just to kind of show you a quick example of what I did for the full Escape the Museum, we put together the digital breakout scene. And so we've got the digital breakout scene here that students would be able to click on. And then we've got the color lock, number lock, word lock, and directional lock. So again, and you might want to have something like group member names. But then next week, we'll be talking about how to put everything together into this final site. And we'll also be talking about how to incorporate some movement into your digital escape room. So doing things like hiding clues around the room, including QR codes, HPO reveal codes, and things like that. So it's not like kids are just simply sitting at their tables on their devices, but they'll actually be moving around and getting some movement breaks in there all at the same time while completing this escape room. So I hope that this was helpful to you, and I will be around tomorrow, Wednesday, the 29th at 4:30 p.m. for our next hangout. And I look forward to seeing you then.